Did you enjoy our opening sequence?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the opening sequence. I thought it was, what I really liked about it is its enigmatic quality to it. I thought it was very evocative of the genre, particularly those beautiful, wide, expansive shots. Really evoked the sort of gritty social realism um, genre and the works of directors like Shane Meadows. But at the same time, it was intriguing because of its enigmatic narrative. We see this character who is evocative of that genre, and we see him in some kind of despair or some kind of distress, but we don't know why. We're given some clues in terms of the letter he receives, but not a lot more than that, and that allows you to engage with it and also engage with the representation of the lead character, I think, with the protagonist, because it allows you to engage with his situation and why he's in the situation that he's in. So it challenges the audience, I think, in that way, and I enjoy being challenged by a film and has to think. So that certainly appeals to me.
What was your opinion on our plot?
I enjoyed the plot. As I say, I liked how the fact in the opening sequence, it wasn't thrown down your neck. It was enigmatic, and that it didn't establish much of the plot. It was more about character and location. You get the sense that kind of the location and the region and the regional identity plays quite a big part in this character's life in terms of situating him where he is, and possibly placing restrictions on him. Going forward into the film, I like the simplicity of the plot, if you like, that essentially it's a plot about an ordinary story, about a relationship, about a father having to forge his relationship with his son after the abandonment of the mother. And I like a story like that, which is essentially, it's about ordinary people, it's about relationships, but it makes it extraordinary by exploring those relationships within that. I think that there wasn't much of that plot in the opening sequence. As I say, I do like that in terms of the enigmatic quality to it. But then, as I say, watching the film further, the opening sequence would hook me, but the remainder of the plot would keep me watching.
What did you think of our representation of the working class?
I enjoyed the representations created because I felt they were sort of ideologically problematic, in the sense of you being beaten over the head with a particular representation. This guy is working class, but he isn't just working class. He's not defined by that. He's defined by this other trauma in his life, and it gets you to interrogate the importance or possibly lack of importance of his class. So I think it was good that you had the representation there of the working class, because again, that's evocative of the genre and it's conventional of that particular genre and the work of directors like Shane Meadows. But I like the fact that it wasn't just about him being working class, which allows the audience to interrogate his position and see if his position is a product of class or if it's a product of circumstance, which in turn gets you to challenge stereotypes, which I think is an important thing.
What did you think of the themes we presented in our opening sequence?
As I say, I like the idea that the themes were ordinary ideas of despair and loneliness and isolation and family, made extraordinary by sort of the beautiful setting and the complexity of the character. And I do like a film like that. I like a film that takes what would seem an ordinary story and makes it interesting and engaging. And I think the very fact that yours did that is actually, I think it's harder to do that than it is to produce an all-out Hollywood action film. I think that's a fairly easy thing to do and take a fairly generic narrative and put a load of special effects into it and make it, I think that's fairly, technically it might not be that easy, but I think ideologically it's quite an easy thing to do. I like the idea that this took an everyday story and made it intriguing and interesting and possibly problematic, and made us question our own sort of values in society. And I think that's an important thing to do. I think film should be, I think cinema should be important. It should tell us things. It should make us question things. So I think it's important, that your film does that.
How do you think we could have improved?
I think coming back to the plot again, one possible improvement that I would suggest to say, I like the element that in the opening sequence, it doesn't have it doesn't have that clarity of narrative. It is enigmatic. It is more about location and character. But one element which going forward is obviously this sort of abandonment, this disappearance of the mother, and I do think maybe, although I like the confusion and the the questions and the intellectual pleasures that the opening creates, I do think viewers do want, even the most complex and sophisticated of viewers like me do like some signposts in there. And I think one of your signposts was the pictures of the mother, but I think what could have been improved there is that the picture of the mother looked like kind of a woman from like the 19th century or something, which doesn't really fit in with this modern regional representation. So that I would question, well, wait a minute, who is this woman? And then as the plot developed, and then I think, well, wait a minute, was that her? Because she looked like somebody from 1842 or something. So I think maybe just tiny details like that, if you are creating a sequence where, enigma is key to it, if there are some signposts in to make sure the audience doesn't get completely confused and completely blown away, then I think you just maybe need to make sure that those signposts or the attention to detail with them is there to make them clear.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.